The phenomenon of near-death experiences continues to evolve. It's happening to more and more people, and the stories all bear similarities. But once it occurs, what comes next? It would seem that the near-death experience is only, for many, the beginning of a new and profound journey.
I'm Ron James, host of the show Bigger Questions on Amazon. This year, I'm helping out at the International Association for Near-Death Studies annual conference. To get an idea what to expect, I've been talking to some of the speakers. Let's take a look. Welcome to another one of the IANDS pre-conference interviews. Today we have Robin Landsong, who is an experiencer and will also be presenting at IANDS 2018. Robin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Can you tell us about your own personal experience?
And so when I was living on the East Coast, when I was 8 years old, and I had parents who were unfortunately not mentally well and were abusive, and they exposed me to a lot of other pedophiles and people who weren't mentally well. So one of those men chose to actually abduct me and took me out of the country and took me to Zimbabwe, or it was then Rhodesia in 1977. And it was the height of the Rhodesian War. So as best as I can understand, he was going to be a mercenary. And for some reason in his not mental wellness, he took me with him. And he was very dangerous and assaulted me. And I had broken ribs from that. And then he basically abandoned me in the bush. And I made my way to a rural village. And the people of that village actually took me in and saved my life, which was an incredible risk for them to take in a white child during this war. So I'll be forever grateful for that. And so I became really very much accepted. Two of the women very much mothered me, and I began to learn the songs of the village and how to really listen to that each person has a song inside them, and that when somebody needs to remember who they are, you sing their song back to them. And so one day I wandered too far from the village, and I was actually spotted by a soldier, and he shot me and the bullet grazed the top of my head, and I began to die of blood loss and shock. And so when I crossed over to the other side, I met a series of beings who helped me really understand how welcome I was, how the abuse wasn't my fault, the difficult things that were happening were not my fault, and that I was welcomed home in a sense of belonging that I had never experienced in my whole 8 years in this realm. And so one of the big messages I want to get across is that, and many other near-death survivors say this too, there's really no need to fear death, because we are going to be welcomed home and totally guided when we go on the other side.
Can you tell us a little bit about how it changed your life and what you're doing now that incorporates your experience?
That's a great question. And so I'm really excited that the theme is after effects this year. And when I went to write my application and think about ideas of what I could offer through that, I realized everything I do, my healing work and being a health intuitive, sometimes you would call that a medical intuitive, my artwork, my singing medicine, is all because my intuition was so blown open by my near-death experiences that it is the foundation of all the work I do to be of service to others in the world. And it also informs just kind of my daily life of, it's so normal to me to use my intuition to make decisions that just even, like I said, writing up all the classes I could teach based on after effects, I was just really excited that that's the theme this year. I welcome you to come to the 2018 IANDS Focus on After Effects. I will be teaching a workshop on taking intuition to the next level to be of service to others. And that workshop is called Becoming a Health Intuitive, Medical Intuitive. And also John Utter, my husband, and I will be doing a talk on why are my after effects different, so that you can understand why your after effects of either your near-death experience or your spiritually transformative experience are different than the next person, so that you can value your own experience and the ways it's made meaning and changed your life. And I really look forward to seeing everyone live.
There'll be over 100 speakers and presenters at this year's International Association for Near-Death Studies annual conference, Bellevue, Washington. Be there or see it live.